Hello everyone, and welcome back to Cosplay Tea Time, a fun place where you can sit, have a beverage, and listen to cosplayers chat about animes, the art of cosplaying, and whatever else comes to our minds that we would like to share with you all. So thank you for taking a moment out of your day to join us for our 90s anime-themed podcast recording. Super stoked and excited.
90s,
Yes.
anime.
Yes, but before we can get into our topic, we're going to go ahead and introduce our tea sippers here. So we're going to start with...
Hi, I'm BelladonnaRoseCosplays. You can call me Bella or Crazy Grandma. I am cosplaying a Sailor Moon X Ruby cosplay today, and as you can see, I'm Ruby Rose, but you shall call me Sailor Rose today.
I like that.
Fighting justice!
One cookie at a time.
One cookie and one dog at a time!
And where can people find you at?
You guys can find me on TikTok and my Linktree and stuff, and yeah, and if you find, any social media page that, has my name and either someone else or is private, just don't bother with it. If it's not my Linktree, it's not mine, or I'm not using it.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Awesome. Well, welcome once again to our show. Alrighty, and I'm your host for today. My name is Jen. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Jen_Cosplays45. I try to post regularly. YouTube, I'm trying to pick it back up, but let's just say there's some fun surprises on there that's coming here soon. So I've been a cosplayer for about 2 years now. Just started with closet cosplaying, which is what I have on today. It's just very casual cosplay. But before we do that, we're now going to break the ice with some icebreaker questions, starting with, what is a snack that you would like to try one day?
Snack I would like to try would definitely be some fruit I have never seen before in my life. And yeah, basically, I know I really want to eat pineapples. I've had pineapples before. I'm just allergic. It's like, I can't eat pineappals. It's always a shame when you can't eat those foods you want to eat. You have an allergy. So it's like,
I feel ya. Yeah, I also have a food allergy to mushrooms. Let's just say not good things happen to me when I eat mushrooms. But I've had them before and I like them. It's just the aftermath is like, we're not going to get into that. But a snack I would like to try one day, I mentioned this a couple days ago in the candy recording, which is the dango. It's like a Japanese sweet type of candy. It's like these little balls on a stick, and it always looks so good, whether it's in anime or in real life. It's just like, I want to like take that off the screen and just like nom 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 myself. So I'm trying to look around like different websites to see if I can find some. I can never find it at the grocery store, so I'm hoping one day I get to try it.
My friends actually made it, and I tried it for the first time, and I loved it. Of course, it was, room temperature at the time when I tried it, but it was still very good. So I think there are some recipes out there where you can make it and then try it.
We have to try that.
Give them a shot. Let's go. I want to make it now because I want to eat it all over again.
Must be that good. Alright, one day, we'll get there. So, our next question is, what is your funniest cosplay moment?
The funniest cosplay moment was the first time I ever started cosplaying. And Oh my gosh. So this corset I'm wearing now. If you look in the back, I have a pin on it. And that's because the thing popped, and when it popped, I started freaking out so bad.
Oh, no.
And one of my friends was like, what's going on with you? Why are you freaking out? And I'm like, something happened to the back of me.
Oh.
My friend, he like lifts up the cape, he looks in the back and goes, oh, and the thing popped, and it doesn't work. And I'm like, oh no!
Mm-hmm. No.
That was hysterical for me.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Happened. I'm trying to think of a funniest cosplay moment. I think, with Daisy May with Animal Crossing, she wears like a basket on her head. And I'm like trying out like different baskets. And I think I found the one that will fit my head. But then I realized I had a kerchief on and I had to tie like the basket onto me. So it's just like falling off. And at the time I was frustrated because I was just like, why won't you stay on? You worked at the store. Like, at the time it was frustrating. But I look back and I think it's funny how just everything was falling down, and I accidentally broke one of the turnips that I made, and I was just like, but, you learn to laugh it off. It's good to laugh and, go through those experiences, so
Yeah.
Cats
I just laughed because I know myself perfectly well.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I freak out, it's like over the top, and people are kind of like, what the heck? Like, you're like that. But, if you just laugh at me, you're like, yeah, she'll laugh about this later, and it's not even gonna matter 5 years in the future.
Oh.
It's just so funny. I don't care if people laugh at me while I'm going granny mode, because I will laugh with you.
There you go. That's what's important. Love it. Alrighty. Well, now we get to enter into our little commercial break. If you're new here and you're watching for the first time, welcome. Thanks for tuning in to our lovely tea time hour. Cosplay Tea Time is a place where cosplayers come. We discuss different fandoms. We'll talk about, the art of cosplaying, such as prop making, wig styling. Sewing has been a hot topic recently, so we'll just come and we'll share tips and tricks, and we'll talk about all the fun stuff that we love about cosplaying and show off our cosplays, as well as some tea and snacks and all that good stuff. So, if you would like to join the Cosplay Tea Time community, do message us on Instagram. It's cosplay_tea_time. Just look for the little mouse. He sits in little cups surrounded by books and flowers. He's absolutely adorable. You cannot miss him. So be sure to check us out there. Give us a follow. We'd greatly appreciate it. And not only that, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you'd like to see more. And we just want to say heartfelt thank you to those who have supported us. I believe when this video comes out, we're going to be close to a year with Cosplay Tea Time. So it's hard to believe that this has been going on for almost a year. And we're getting done with our first little batch of recordings, and hopefully in the fall we'll start recording some more. So again, if you want to join, just feel free to shoot us a message. We'll get you squared away. And, just continue to support us throughout our journey. So thank you.
Supporting with justice.
Yes. I like that. Love it.
Also, in case if you don't know, we have more episodes here on the Cosplay Tea Time YouTube channel. If you want to go check those out, see what you're interested in, go ahead. If not, that is all fine. We understand, because we are not in your brain. So, okay, let's get on with the podcast of today.
Which is 90s anime. You didn't guess by the title and what we talked about earlier, but yes, we're talking about the 90s, what makes it so nostalgic. A lot of people grew up with 90s animes, whether you watched it during that time frame or in the 2000s, or if you're like me and you watched it in 2013, and you became an adult and you're like, oh, I can watch the anime now, yay! So we're just going to talk about our journey and experiences and what it's like to watch 90s anime. So with the first question being, tell me which character you are portraying, and which show are they from?
Well, I'm gonna give a little bit of a history from this character. That's the anime in which I've crossed these two dimensions over to. Um, so, if you don't know the show Sailor Moon, it was made back in the 1990s. It was actually made as a comic first, I believe. Then it was converted into anime in the 90s, starting in 1992. And it kind of aired all over internationally by the time the year was 1998. Then it actually has been deemed the most successful magical girl anime ever since, and no other anime, with magical beings and, even shows in general has been successful than them, just because throughout that time, Sailor Moon has become, such a household name. Mm-hmm. So, I'm in the theme of Sailor Moon today, and if you like Ruby, well, I'm Ruby Rose as a Sailor Guardian. And her Sailor Guardian name, coming from me, is Sailor Rose. So, enjoy it while it lasts. This is actually version 1. I'm starting to work on version 2 now because I'm so excited. So
that's fun.
Let's get it. Yeah, they don't... Okay. Sailor Moon, too, is that they actually started to remake it, I think in 2013 or somewhere, like... in the 2010s, and they re-released Sailor Moon, like, newly revived and everything. So, you're not really gonna get to see a whole lot of, clips from the old anime, but you are able to watch, the anime that portrays, like, the same thing on, Crunchyroll. I think it's on Funimation, I don't know. But, just anywhere where Sailor Moon is provided now. That's enough history. Jen, you can go ahead. You're probably like, oh my god, she's talking more.
No, you're fine. I actually think there is, like, an artist out there, I can't remember their name, but that did, like, Team Ruby and Team Juniper, like, crossovers with Sailor Moon. Because I remember for the longest time people were sending me Nora's, because I'm a Nora Valkyrie type of person. I love her so much. So everybody kept sending me it, and I'm like, I saw, it's great, I saw. Like... So I think there is artwork out there, so love a good crossover. We appreciate crossovers here as well. So, and I'm also, I guess, from a different magical girl franchise. I'm Sakura Kinomoto from Cardcaptor Sakura. It was also produced in the late 1990s. I just fell in love with the anime about a year or so ago. I met up with a person, they're like, I do cosplaying and stuff, we want to do like a 90s anime group for KatsuCon, but then it got canceled, and I was like, well, I'll still check out a 90s anime, see what's out there. I thought of Sailor Moon, but I couldn't find those shows, so I was like, well, what's on Crunchyroll? And that's when I found Cardcaptor Sakura. Actually, it was on Netflix for a little while. I don't know if it still is, but I just like fell in love with the characters, the story, the music is like so good, and I was just like, this is who I want to cosplay. It was the first one, but I was like, nope, this is who I'm supposed to be. So, and I had like the pink dress, it was just from my closet. It had been sitting in there for years, and then just kind of scrapped everything else together and made it work. So, and then I also have little Karo-chan with me. He's part of the show, part of all the hijinks and stuff. So he's also got dressed up. So that's what I'm doing today, Sakura. So, okay. Did you grow up watching 90s anime, or did you start later?
So, I've always wanted to watch 90s anime. I just didn't really get to start until this year because, knowing me, I don't really get to watch a lot of television. I'm constantly doing this or I'm constantly doing that. Mm-hmm. I'm a very creative type, so I'm constantly creating something. Or, I'm doing something else, but I will sit down and I will try to watch some form of anime from time to time, whether it's while I eat or whether it's just, while I'm, making, like, a costume or just, presents for people. I don't know if you know this about my costume, if you haven't, or if you're able to spot out or haven't been able to spot out, is that I actually crocheted some pieces to this cosplay, And I basically had been crocheting this cosplay for about like a week and a half, and I had been upcycling stuff from my wardrobe that I was going to start selling. I keep telling myself I'm going to sell on Depop, but really I haven't started yet. My BelladonnaRoseCosplays is up there on Depop, though, and it is public for everybody. But yeah, I just pulled this out of the bin, and I was just like all over the place with making this stuff. Except for the gloves. I had to buy them because I kept messing them up. So, yeah.
My gloves.
If you need little crocheted pieces for your costumes, or you want a crocheted sweater, you can, just message me on Depop like, hey, how much would you charge for like a thing? Because I don't really have anything listed right now, but if you message me about something you want me to make, then I'll see if I'll put a price on that and, give you a
sounds good to me.
Treatment.
So
yeah.
And it's always nice to watch anime like while you're eating, or even just like an episode before bed, just to kind of like unwind. So definitely feel that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. So I didn't watch anime until I turned 18, so about 10 years ago. Showed my age there for a second. But, I started pretty late because growing up I wasn't allowed to watch anime. I could watch cartoons, I could watch Disney movies, but anime was like, no. Like, no Pokemon, no Digimon, none of that. Like, you're not allowed to watch that. But when I went off to college and I had free time in between class, I was like, well, what do I watch? Like, I'm watching the same shows. So I discovered anime online through YouTube. There was a show called My Goddess. It's not as popular, but, I was just like, oh, I'll try the first episode, and was instantly hooked. I love the story, the mystery, like, again, the music, the imagery, and I was just like, wow, I've been missing out. So, and then just like every now and then, I'll see like 90s animes pop up and whatnot, but I'm definitely watching more current animes like Spy X Family and a couple of Cuckoos and stuff like that. But yes, we'll get into that here in a second. But what is your favorite 90s anime?
Well, my favorite 90s anime, which I'm watching right now, is Sailor Moon, even though I'm watching the, revived and retouched version released in 2013, but it was still something that was released back in the 90s, which is why I still consider Sailor Moon to be a 90s anime. And it was originally posted, obviously, the bogey, but yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought I had an answer for this one, and now I just forgot it. But I think I'll just go back to My Goddess. So it's this guy living on Earth. He does like school and stuff, and then he calls like a goddess hotline by accident. Like he's supposed to call like a pizza place, and he calls a goddess hotline, and like he's like, oh, like I want you to come down. Like major spoilers, by the way. But he's like, I want you to come down and like stay with me. So the goddess like comes to Earth and like stays with him, and they go on many adventures. And there's more people that enter. It has its wholesome moments. It has moments where it's kind of like, maybe I understand why my mom didn't let me watch anime. So kids, shield your eyes. Say about that. But it's a really good story. I think there's also like a movie or something after you watch the whole season. There's like a movie on YouTube. Definitely worth checking out. So, okay.
Yeah.
How often do you go back and watch the same show or even other 90s animes? Once a week?
Well, even though Sailor Moon's kind of my first, anime show or something, if it's a show that I've absolutely fallen in love with, I will not only rewatch episodes once in a while, but I'll also, scroll on social media, look at all the art people have made, look at all of the postings that people have made, that they've screenshotted from the show.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'll also look at, all of stuff that, people are making in fan fiction of it, or have done, some of my fanfiction, whenever you make your own character and then you put it in, like, that show setting, and whether it's, like, Next Generation or not, kind of something like that. I check them out from time to time. Once in a while, I will read the whole entire thing, but other than that, I just check out, like, I'm like, cool, just to see if I'm interested in stuff.
Yeah.
I like to watch stuff that I'm interested in. If I don't like it, I don't like
it. Change the channel.
Oh, what can you do? Of course, I do still try to finish it, though, if I don't like it, because I've always had this thing where I start something and then I don't finish it, and then I'm trying to get myself out of that habit now, where I start something, I finish it whether I like it or not. Yeah.
Makes sense in my head. Okay. But yeah, definitely feel you on that. If I don't like it either, I'm just like, I always try to give like at least one episode. I'm like, alright, I'll give it a try, and then if I don't like it, I just won't finish the rest of the series or something. But I do feel like, with 90s animes like Cardcaptor Sakura or Oh My Goddess, I feel like I only go back whenever it either one pops up on my YouTube recommended, like the algorithm all of a sudden is like, here you go, here's a 90s show you used to watch and enjoy and fantasize over. But I feel like other times too, it's either like Instagram, like how you can follow hashtags, and if I follow like Cardcaptor Sakura or Cardcaptor Sakura cosplay, like somebody else's post will come up with that cosplay, and then I'm like, oh yeah, like this show's like really good, really wholesome, like all that kind of stuff. So I might listen to the song every now and then. I wanted to listen to the main theme while getting ready, but I couldn't because we had people over, and I was like, I'm already in a cosplay, which feels a little out of the comfort zone. I'm not going to play the music too, so make it work. Oh, you might see movement behind me. It's just my cat. It's not the windy card. Promise you, it's in here, so keeping him safe. Alrighty. Ooh, this is the one question maybe I should have put first, because I was about to get ahead of myself, but I caught myself, which is, if you could cosplay from another 90s anime series, who would you cosplay as, and from what show?
Sailor Moon again. I would probably do I would do not just Sailor Moon, but I would do some of the other Sailor Guardians, because I just can't decide on one character. I like them all in this series. They're all great in their own freaking way. I mean, I just this cosplay, I just whipped it up because I didn't want to buy more stuff. Yeah. I'm like, okay, another version of Ruby, let's go. But I would cosplay Sailor V the most because she looks super pretty.
Oh, there you go. You have to take one of those quizzes. Like one of those quizzes, which Sailor Moon character am I? I have to see. I have to see which one of the characters I can impersonate too. Because I feel so good to cosplay a character. Even if it's super hard to put on the costume, I will feel super good about playing that character just because I can sound like the character. Because then I can give everybody walking by who knows that character a run for their money. Run for their money. And they're like, ah! It's double the entertainment.
I posted a video on TikTok of this plushie, like, staring at a jar of peanut butter, and I was sounding exactly like Ruby. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's staring at the peanut butter. And in the comments, everyone's like, whoa, this, that. And one of the comments was like, you sound so much like Ruby, it's scary. And I'm like, yes!
The height of your cosplay career.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Aww.
Include your talent, kids.
Yeah. Practice it. Oh, no, that's awesome. Let me see. So which one would I do? I think I took the Sailor Moon quiz and got Sailor Mercury. I think that's the first planet. Yeah, I got Sailor Mercury. I gotta figure out why, though. I don't remember her character much. I remember. It's okay. But I do want to cosplay from Oh My Goddess, just because it was the first anime series that I watched. I mean, Sword Art Online was the first one I watched and fell in love with, and that's what got me into anime, but it's not a 90s anime. It came out, like, later in the 2000s, I believe. Now, here to talk about 2000s animes, 90s animes. But I would love to do Belle Dandy. She's the one that came down first to be with the gentleman and whatnot. She's just very, very wholesome. She can sing, like, cook and clean. Like, she's just such a nice person to be with. So that's who I would do. So okay. Next up we have, what is your favorite 90s anime theme song opening?
The original Sailor Moon theme song.
It was really catchy.
Sailor Moon, the more I'm laughing about it. Hiding evil vibes, light, living love by daylight, never running from a real fight. She's the one named Sailor Moon. Shall I say Sailor Rose?
Ooh. Yeah, change up the lyrics.
Yeah. He's the one named Sailor Rose. Da, 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 da.
There we go. It's really good. Yeah, it is pretty catchy. I mean, listen to it. It's like, ready to go take on the world. Defeat whatever they defeat. Or something.
Oh, yeah. Taking on the world, baby. Beating those jobs and just living the life.
Mm-hmm. Man, I'd probably go with Cardcaptor Sakura, like the very first one. I think there's like 2 or 3 different openings, but that first one definitely hits you with nostalgia. Even though I watched it in my late 20s, it definitely has like a nostalgic kind of feeling. It's like, you know, catch me, catch me, catch me, or something like that. It just like makes you like really excited to watch the show, and I think that's really important. Have a good intro. Gets you hyped and ready to watch, so it's a good one. Alrighty. Which 90s anime character would you invite for tea?
Either Sailor Moon or Sailor E. I don't know which one, actually.
You can invite multiple. I feel like that would either be more fun or more chaotic. Which one?
All of them.
All of them. What about Tuxedo Mask?
Well, I'm gonna invite him to, yes.
Mm-hmm. I've seen photos and like people cosplaying, and I'm just like, oh my. He's quite.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So he's quite fine looking. So I understand the show hype now. So.
Wait, the snake.
Mm-hmm. Aww. Yeah, because I was thinking about that too. Maybe I should have put like characters, because sometimes it's hard just to choose one. It's like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which one's feelings am I not gonna hurt? So, but I would definitely invite, you know, from like the Cardcaptor Sakura, like Sakura herself, her friend Tomoya, who's always following with the video camera. I think that would be crazy. Probably Shaoran-kun. He'd probably just sit there and politely sip his tea. Maybe the brother, I don't know. And then Yuki. Yuki is the one that like eats and eats and eats and eats, and he never gets full and stuff. And I'm just like, maybe that would be good, but at the same time we'd run out of food really quick. So, you know.
All the food before anyone would just touch it. It's like,
it's all gone.
How are you able to eat all that food? Oh no, I must just have a fast metabolism.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not gonna spoil the show because I want other people to check it out. But there is a reason why he feels that way, and there is a point in the show where he like gets full or he stops eating, and then that's when they all know like something's off. So it was really dramatic part. I was like, oh no, he's sick, something's wrong, like my boy, like no. So it's a really good show. Highly recommend checking out.
now I want to watch the show just for that character. Just for that character that eats so much.
Yeah, Yuki is his name, and he is so nice. Alright, we got one more question for the day, afternoon, whatever time it is. What makes 90s anime feel so nostalgic?
Oh my gosh. I feel like what makes it feel so nostalgic is not just the outfits, because of the style back then in the 90s and the trends that happened in the 90s leading up into the 2000s. Oh my gosh. Just the music and the way that the ambiance is animated within the show. It's almost like a really cool filter nowadays put over animation. And no, that's probably how the way that the animation was made. Yeah, it's just really awesome to also, see, old videos of the process on how they made a certain show, even of how they're making a show now, because you can compare to how they made a show back then, or made a movie back then, or made something back then versus to how they make it now.
Yeah.
Because, back then, whenever films started, it wasn't all computerized because, computers weren't really the thing. And then as, time went on, technology became greater. Us not having phones in our hands to us now having phones in our hands, able to do all this editing stuff on our phones, able to, film these funny, quirky videos with our friends, or filming these cool cosplay videos with a storyline and a purpose, Just all this stuff that we have now. It's amazing to, how it was created too, like history and everything. Yeah, I love history.
You're good.
I'm a history nerd, so yeah.
Awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that. I think you pretty much hit all my points, which I was gonna say, like, the way it was animated, like, it's not, like, grainy, but it's not as clear-cut as some animations are today. Like, watching, like, Netflix shows like Drifting Dragons and Bubbles. Not saying it's all bad, but it's so clean. Where if you look back at 90s anime, it's just kind of not like staticky, but it just has like that kind of like appeal to it. That's just like it's so nostalgic. But yeah, definitely the feel of the anime, the music. You just hear and it's like, oh yeah, I remember watching that show, or growing up, or in college, waiting for class and stuff like that. So and then not only that, as Bella mentioned, like the costumes. I didn't think of that until you said it, but there's just something very different. I mean, different shows are going to have their own unique costuming designs and whatnot, but it just seems like nowadays it seems like so typical to have like the same school uniform, or but with the Magic Girl animes and like different historical animes and whatnot, there's like a lot of interesting in the way that it's been colored and all this stuff, all the good stuff. Put it that way. So that wraps up all the good stuff. Yes. That wraps up my questions for the day. As always, I like to turn it over to the tea sippers. If they have any questions about this topic or about cosplaying, feel free.
I mean, I don't have any questions or anything, but I don't know, I just want to get creative. See who wants to make animations of us or not, Also, if you're an animator,
yep.
Animate some more stuff if something goes down, because I'm gonna be like, yes, we're gonna finally be on the map. I don't really feel like we're entirely on the map, but we're somewhere on the map for sure.
Be fun.
Yeah.
You can animate Mousy. So cute.
Ooh, Mousy probably coming in with a different hat, like a cowboy hat. Who here took my studio mic? Who took my studio mic? I know it was you, Fred. Fred, did you take my studio mic? No, you didn't get my studio mic back. No, don't take the studio mic away from me. You're now on the other side of the room. How did you get there so fast with my studio mic? Get back my studio mic.
There you go. So maybe one day we'll look into animations and see if there's anyone out there that wants to animate Mousy, animate some of our snippets or whatnot. Eventually I'll do tea time shorts or whatever I decide to call them. But as always, do subscribe if you want to see more. Check out our other videos. I have playlists somewhere of just all the different things. So we hope everyone's taking care, staying safe. Make sure you drink your water. Again, Leaf Kind is good as well. And as always, we'll see you next episode. So until then, keep sipping away. Bye!